What if I told you that you're just 1% away from changing your entire life? Not next year, not someday, today, right now. Because greatness doesn't come from massive action, it comes from a single decision made over and over again. Welcome to the 1% mindset, where small becomes powerful and ordinary becomes unstoppable. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with a mindset shift that could change your future forever. In his life-altering book, The 1% Mindset, Amit Kumar reveals a simple truth. Massive success is the result of tiny, daily choices compounded over time. Sounds simple? Maybe. But this one idea is backed by the same principle that builds empires, fortunes, and legacies. The power of compounding. Just imagine, if you improved just 1% every day, you wouldn't just be 365% better in a year. You'd be nearly 38 times better. Why? Because small gains multiply. Think of your life like a snowball. Roll it every day, and eventually, it becomes unstoppable. It's 5 a.m. You're groggy. The alarm buzzes. You're tempted to hit snooze. But today, something's different. Instead of chasing big, overwhelming goals, you whisper to yourself, just 1% better. That's it. No need to run a marathon, write a novel, or become a millionaire by sunset. Just improve by one tiny step. Something so small it almost feels effortless. And that's where the 1% mindset by Amit Kumar begins. The power of tiny wins. Amit doesn't ask us to change everything overnight. He introduces a surprisingly simple idea with massive potential. Get 1% better every day. It sounds minor, right? But here's the magic. If you improved just 1% daily, by the end of a year, you wouldn't just be 365% better. Due to the power of compounding, you'd be nearly 38 times better than when you started. It's like saving pennies every day and waking up a year later with a mountain of gold. Think about a plane that shifts its course by just 1%. Barely noticeable at takeoff. But over hours of flight, that small shift takes it to a completely different destination. The same applies to life. One extra push-up, one page read, one less complaint. These choices feel small, but stacked over time, they change your trajectory, breaking mental chains. But let's be honest, what holds us back isn't a lack of knowledge. It's our mindset. Amit dives deep into the psychological barriers that silently sabotage us. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? Others are ahead of me, so why bother? These aren't just thoughts, they're anchors. Through real-world examples and mindset shifts, he shows how to break free from limiting beliefs and transform failure into feedback. The daily 1% rule. This isn't theory, it's a lifestyle. Amit introduces the daily 1% rule, a practical, repeatable system that helps you. Identify small, achievable tasks each day. Track them. Celebrate progress. Stay consistent even when motivation dips. Whether it's saving an extra 100 Indian rupees, writing a paragraph, meditating for 2 minutes, or drinking one extra glass of water, it counts. The 1% mindset trains you to fall in love with the process. It builds a quiet kind of confidence, one that whispers, I'm growing, even if it doesn't show yet. The 1% mindset, 10 tiny truths that can change everything. Imagine this. You're standing at the bottom of a tall mountain. It feels impossible to climb. The summit? Your dreams, your goals, your best self. But what if I told you, you didn't need to scale it all at once? What if the secret wasn't in giant leaps, but in one small step at a time? That's the heart of the 1% mindset by Amit Kumar, a guide not for the extreme, but for the intentional. Principle 1, incremental improvement. Let's start small, really small. Just 1% better every day. It sounds tiny, but over time, that adds up to exponential transformation. Like water wearing down rock, not by force, but by consistency. Principle 2, consistency is the real superpower. Big bursts of motivation are fun, but fleeting. What really changes your life? Brushing your teeth every day, saving every week, learning every hour. Tiny efforts, stacked daily, build unstoppable momentum. Principle 3, mindset shift. You're not stuck. You're not born talented or not. With a growth mindset, you realize, I can improve, I can learn, I can become. Your brain is plastic, moldable, and every challenge becomes fuel. Principle 4, goal setting, but smarter. Don't aim for be rich or be successful. That's too vague. Instead, define what success looks like. Break it into micro steps. Track your wins. It's not about the finish line, it's about knowing where to start. Principle 5. Overcoming limiting beliefs. I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me. These aren't truths. They're stories you've been told or told yourself. Change the script. Replace I can't with I'm learning. Principle 6. Embrace failure. Let's be real, failure sucks. But what if you saw it differently? Not as the end, but as feedback. Every fall teaches balance. Every loss shows a weakness to strengthen. Fall, learn, rise, repeat. Principle 7. Self-tracking. Track your habits, your progress, your thoughts. When you see your growth, even if it's slow, it builds self-belief. Progress you can see is progress you can sustain. Principle 8. Patience and persistence. The 1% mindset isn't sexy. It's not overnight success. It's day-by-day, moment-by-moment persistence. You water the seed even before you see the sprout. Principle 9. Small wins matter. Finished that workout? Wrote that page? Chose the apple over the chips? Celebrate that. Small wins equals dopamine boosts equals more motivation. Your brain loves victories. Give it a reason to keep going. Principle 10. Environment and support. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. Surround yourself with people and spaces that encourage better habits, new thinking, and accountability. Because success is contagious, so is stagnation. Choose your circle wisely. Success isn't a result of some heroic, once-in-a-lifetime act. It's built in quiet moments. The 10-minute read, the hard conversation, the early wake-up. If you want to change your life, start today with just 1%. Because 1% today could be 1,000% tomorrow. The magic of 1%. How small steps lead to massive success. Imagine you're in a quiet room with just a blank page in front of you. You've got dreams, big ones. But that blank page, it's intimidating. Now, instead of filling the whole thing today, you just write one sentence. Not a novel, not a masterpiece, just one sentence. That's incremental growth. That's how real success starts. 1. Growth begins small. Think of the bamboo tree. It stays underground for years, growing roots. Nothing visible. Then, boom, in a matter of weeks, it shoots up 90 feet. Why? Because the foundation was built quietly and consistently. That's how life works, too. Every 1% gain, learning a new word, walking an extra 5 minutes, saying no to one distraction, is laying the groundwork. 2. The power of compounding. It's like compounding interest. Improve just 1% a day, and in a year, you're not just 365% better. You're nearly 38x better. Why? Because each improvement builds on the last. It snowballs. It multiplies. It's not linear. It's exponential. 3. Habits that stick. Massive changes often burn out. But tiny daily actions? They sneak into your routine. They become habits without you even realizing it. You don't need willpower to brush your teeth. You just do it. Now imagine applying that same ease to reading, writing, exercising, learning. 4. Small wins equals big motivation. That feeling when you cross off a task? Pure dopamine. Those small wins, a finished workout, a clear inbox, a kind word, fuel you to do more. They prove that you're making progress. Success isn't one giant leap. It's 1,000 tiny steps in the right direction. 5. Building resilience. Setbacks hurt less when you're already in motion. When you're growing by 1% daily, failure isn't the end. It's just a bump. You have momentum. You have proof you're getting better. So you dust off, adapt, and keep moving. 6. You learn to adapt. The beauty of starting small is that it's easier to tweak. You try a 10-minute meditation? Too long. Try 5. That book isn't clicking? Switch genres. Small steps give you room to pivot without losing progress. Big goals shout. Small actions whisper. But it's those whispers, repeated daily, that turn into roars of success. So instead of asking, how do I change everything? Ask, what's my 1% today? Because small doesn't mean insignificant. Small is strategic. Small is sustainable. And small is how legends are built. What's really holding you back? The hidden walls inside your mind. You've got goals. You've read the books. You've watched the motivational videos. But something's still stopping you. It's not a lack of time, not a lack of talent. It's the invisible forces, the ones inside your head. In the 1% mindset, Amit Kumar dives deep into these unseen enemies. Let's walk through them, not just to recognize them, but to beat them. 1. Limiting beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves. You've heard the voice. I'm not smart enough. People like me don't succeed. What if I'm just not meant for more? These aren't facts. They're scripts, written by past failures, society, or even family. But here's the twist. You're the author. You can rewrite the story. How to fight back. Write down your limiting beliefs. Ask, is this absolutely true? Replace it with a more empowering belief. Repeat it daily like a mantra. Over time, beliefs bend. And when they bend, you break free. 2. Fear of failure, the phantom that paralyzes. Fear whispers, don't try, you might mess up. What will people think? But what if failure wasn't the enemy? What if it was the mentor? In the 1% mindset, failure is not final, it's feedback. Every stumble is a lesson. Every setback is part of the setup. How to fight back. Take small risks first. Fail quietly. Learn quickly. Reframe failure. This didn't work, but I'm getting better. Track what you learned each time you fall. 3. Procrastination, the silent killer of dreams. We often delay not because we're lazy, but because we're scared. Scared of doing it wrong. Scared of not being ready. Perfectionism disguises itself as procrastination. How to fight back. Use the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes break. Break your task into one tiny action. Just start. Reward yourself for progress, not perfection. 4. The comfort zone. Safe, but suffocating. The comfort zone is warm, familiar, but nothing grows there. You weren't born to just exist. You were made to expand. Growth comes from the edge, where things feel shaky, uncertain, alive. How to fight back. Set weekly discomfort challenges. Speak up. Try something new. Ask the hard question. Celebrate courage over outcomes. Reflect. What did I learn from doing something uncomfortable today? 5. Self-doubt, the echo chamber of uncertainty. When you doubt yourself, everything becomes harder. Decisions feel risky. Opportunities feel like traps. You shrink just to feel safe. But here's the thing. Self-doubt is a liar. How to fight back. Keep a confidence journal. Log your wins, no matter how small. Read it when doubt creeps in. Surround yourself with people who see your greatness, even when you forget it. 6. Lack of focus and clarity, the fog that blinds progress. Ever feel like you're doing a lot, but going nowhere? That's what happens without clarity. Dreams without direction are like ships without rudders. They drift. How to fight back. Set smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Break them down into tiny actions. Ask yourself daily, what's the one thing that will move me 1% forward today? If this video sparked something in you, please like, subscribe, and share it with one person who's ready to climb their mountain. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from Fact Fiction and Beyond, where powerful ideas meet real-world action. Because remember, your greatness isn't ahead of you. It's hidden in your next 1%.